if we could simply put maybe, 3, 4 at a time, and for each meeting we consider those 3, 4. Many of these within that group of 3, 4, some of them are really straightforward, but 1 or 2 of them out of the 4 or 5 clauses may need extensive discussion. In addition, the position is that the structure, the governance structure, which many members indicated would not work or is not an appropriate structure. The NIDS team has put together and is looking at a new structure, which as a policy directive from the NIDS Secretariat, I've not seen it as yet, but they are putting it together and they would like to finalize it and then circulate it hopefully within a week. Is that so, Mr. Vernon?
Yes, that is correct, Chairman. Good morning,
right.
Thanks.
So the NIDS team will finalize the structure, which will be put to the Joint Select Committee for further consideration, because from the inception, it was indicated that the governance structure, the board of directors really should be more supervisory rather than executive. And the way the structure is at the moment, it looks as if they are actually engaged in the day-to-day management. So the idea, as I understand it from the NIDS Secretariat, is that the chief executive officer must be the one who is accountable to the board. And so the board will basically be a more supervisory body rather than a management body. So it will not be an executive body. It will definitely be there to ensure that the policies of the board is actually carried out. In addition, I think they're looking at the second body, that is the supervisor, the inspection. What's the name of it? The inspection body, the inspectorate. That inspectorate should be the body that will oversee generally what is happening to the NIDS operation, and it's that inspectorate that would be the Commission of Parliament. And so that inspectorate would be reporting to Parliament on a regular basis and will be overseeing or generally inspecting the operation, not only of the board, but of the operation of the NIDS bill. So that is something I believe that the NIDS Secretariat will be putting together to present to us as indicated in a week. The other consideration, colleagues who are on, is that if we try to get days in the afternoon to have the Joint Select Committee, we won't get any for the next 2 months or more, because certainly all of May has been booked out. June is partially booked out. So what I'm really urging our members is to consider this proposal for the next 2 weeks. We meet from 8:30 to 10 o'clock, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Short meetings from 8:30 to 10, and hopefully we can go through a couple of the clauses each time. So I'm going to open up for discussion now for members who are on, if they are in agreement with this proposal, that starting next week, we would meet Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8:30 to 10, and we're doing it virtually. So hopefully we could meet virtually before we actually go to office at 10. So I would like to hear, I had discussed this with Mr. Vernon and his team, and also with Anila, and she has also discussed it with the parliamentary staff. So it is for the members of the Joint Select Committee to agree that that is possible. Julian, I don't know if you'd like to respond to that suggestion.
I think it can work. I will have some difficulties on Tuesday morning, maybe a little tight. We're a PAC, because we also have meetings every Tuesday morning. I just think we have to keep it tight, but I know the challenge with every other committee meeting, because I'm on about 3 or 4
Well,
committee,
what
so I
happened?
understand the challenge, and I just think we have to work as best as possible. So I will endeavor to participate in all the meetings unless I have a clash.
Wonderful. Thanks, Julian. EG, how do you look for that? EG, did you heard the
Yes,
proposal?
yes, Chairman. I support your proposal for the morning meetings. I also share the concern of Member Robinson that there are other members who have other meetings that are scheduled. But I would just add that perhaps we could indicate the clauses that would be considered for each meeting.
No, we're going to do that in a moment, EG.
To prepare ahead of time.
No, we're going to do that right now.
Right. So,
Okay.
but yes, you have my support.
All right, good.
Include the review soonest.
All right. Marsha, Minister Smith, are you?
Yes, I'm here. I also support having the meetings 8:30 to 10 a.m.
Wonderful. Any other member is on at the moment?
I'm here, Minister Chuck.
Senator Sinclair, would that suggestion be agreeable?
Yes, I agree. I find it convenient, and I will work with the time. Whatever adjustments I have to make, I will make them to ensure that I participate in the meetings 8:30 to 10 o'clock.
Thanks, Charles. Any other member? No. What we're going to do, we have circulated that already, but so we're giving advance notice for the next 2 weeks, 8:30 to 10, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we'll try and be as flexible as possible. It may well go from 8:30 to 9:30, and we may have to stop, or but we try for 8:30 to 10 and try to get through as many of these clauses as possible. Now, what is being proposed now, Kamika? Could you show us? Could you and your team indicate to us how you propose to group the clauses, and please indicate why is it you have grouped these clauses like that?
Thank you. Good morning, Minister. Good morning, members of the committee and the colleagues. All right. So the clauses, as you know, the standing orders require that the clauses be done numerically, and the schedules at the end, and then the long title at the end, in the same manner that it's done in the second reading of the bill in the plenary. However, because of the complexity of some of the clauses and the time limit that we have for just that 1.5 hours each morning that we meet, the team proposes that they be grouped in this manner. So you may notice here, for instance, in that part 1, we go from 1, then 3 to 4, and then 7 to 8, 9. However, we don't, and we've skipped out 5 and 6, and we've skipped out 2. So the reason we skipped out 2 was because I believe it has been stated more than once that it is best to do the interpretation clause at the end. And therefore, that is why the interpretation clause is put at the last meeting, and the long title is put at the last meeting. We have also proposed that we do the clauses that apply to the particular schedules at the same time that the schedules are being done. And as a result of that, we've put clauses 5 to 6 at the 7th meeting, and clauses 5 to 6 speak to the authority, Board of Management, and the first schedule goes into detail with regard to the authority and Board of Management. Now, because the governance structure created much concern, it was also proposed that we utilize more than one meeting, because we don't see, or we anticipate rather, that it's going to take more than 1.5 hours to finalize that structure. And therefore, for that particular day, we also included the appeal tribunal, which never had as many issues. And so once we finish both of those, and we can move over to the appeal tribunal, we put that over into this one, and then on the 9th day, you'll see that we put clause 27 with the 3rd schedule to group again those particular days. The Consequential amendments would be in the 10th meeting because we tried to structure it over 10 meetings. It may be a bit ambitious, but if we work smart, perhaps we can finish it in that time. There was another section that we believed, clause 23 to 25, those spoke to security of information disclosure and the requests for authentication and verification. And you may recall that we had many comments forthcoming with regard to those clauses. And consequently, the proposal is to put them over 2 meetings as well. And we can just go through and see. So the first meeting would go up to clause 9 for the most part. The second, 10 to 15, and that is the databases, identity information, and those particular areas. And then 16 to 22, and then we'd reach to the security of information and how it's used, and then go forward from there. Yes.
All right. Colleagues, I think the point is that it's really a guide. And to be fair, if we don't finish, say, if you go back down to number 1, if we don't finish the first 6 clauses, say at the first meeting, we just have to carry over and readjust as we go along. So this is really a guide, but let us say in the first 2 meetings, it appears we're looking at almost 12 clauses. If we don't finish, we basically have to just push it back as we go along. But the idea is we're using this as a guide from the NITS Secretariat, who have been looking at the matrix of various submissions. So based on the submissions that have come from the different contributors, we are able to get some idea of which clauses would take up a fair amount of time. And that is why the NITS team have really structured it so that we're hoping we can get through approximately 6 clauses in the first per meeting, but there are other clauses where maybe only unlikely to get through more than 2 or 3 clauses. So I don't know if there are any comments from AG, Member Robinson, Member Smith, and Senator Sinclair.
I mean, I have no difficulty with what is being proposed. I think once we get the information in advance, so we can prepare properly for each meeting, I think
all right.
we'll be fine.
So even for next week, Jamaica and Anila. All right. Any comments on AG before I go to the next point?
Chairman, you have my support. I have no difficulty with the proposal. I think the groupings make sense. And I like the idea of the interpretation clause being done at the end. It's in having gone through the bill. Just that this be sent to all members, again, to assist us in presentation. Wonderful. And just double check that all comments in relation to clauses under consideration are with us.
Right. Senator Sinclair and Minister Smith.
I am comfortable, Minister, with what I have seen and heard so far. The only thing I would ask for, I think you had mentioned some dates, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Right.
If those are to be adjusted, or whatever the dates are going to be, we could get them in advance so that in setting our other arrangements that appropriate adjustments can be made.
So basically, what will happen now is, Jamaica, you will put in, say, for number 1, next Tuesday. What date is next Tuesday? Next Tuesday would be the 11th. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So 1 would be the 11th, 2 would be the 12th, and 3 would be the 13th. Okay. And then, as I said, these are guides, colleagues. It may well be that we find that we can't get through, 1 in 1 day. So we have to push it back down as the case may be. So these dates and times may well be adjusted. But the more important thing is that we want to finish up, say, the first 6 clauses first day. If we only do 2, then they carry over to the second day. and we just have to adjust and push back as we go along, okay? But we will try to follow this guide as the case may be. Now, more importantly, Anila and Kamika, say for next week, we would want the matrix for those first 3 meetings, okay?
Okay, sir.
So that members can at least have it before the end of this week, if that's
Right.
possible. So that at least we are aware of the consideration for those first, it looked like about 18 clauses. We may not get through all 18 clauses, but at least if we can, fine. You know, so as I see, let us get the matrix specifically related to all those clauses, the various concerns of the contributors to each clause, so we can examine them one by one, and hopefully we can proceed effectively. So, members, I'm hoping, Mr. Vernon, by next week, Tuesday, we can, the proposed new governing bodies that we will have a structure to present to the members, not for consideration next week, but at least they will have it in advance so that the following week or the third week, as the case may be, we will be able to discuss them in 8, 9, and 10, okay?
Yes, Chairman, we will be ready.
Right, okay. So, as I said, I don't think we're going to go through any of the clauses now because they have not yet been circulated by the Secretariat. So, Anila?
Yes, Minister.
All right, so you're going to make sure that at least for those first 3 meetings, the relevant matrix has been provided.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think, colleagues, that's the most we can do this morning. All right, so if that is the case, I mean, we just have to know, just plan to meet next week, Tuesday at 8:30, Wednesday and Thursday. Is that okay, members?
Yes, Chairman.
Comfortable with that, Chairman.
Right, and so,
I'm okay with that, Chairman, as well.
That works, yeah.
so
Excuse me, Chair. Would the same mode of meeting be for June? I tried to secure longer time periods in June for the committee. I don't have it in front of me now, but I'll provide the information to the members and participants as well. But would you want to be meeting at 8:30 to 10 in a similar fashion, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in June, just to finalize the report and so on, if we're successful in completing the clause by clause here in May?
no, Anila, may I just say, let us see how this works for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I would say watch it first and see,
Yeah.
you may have other committees that might open up. So let's watch it first and see.
So we're just,
I believe though what Ms. McCarthy is asking is whether she could go ahead to just secure those times.
we're going to. That's
So
it, yes, Anila.
But if we
But we
don't,
won't finalize them until we see how the next 2 weeks go.
But I would want to secure the time still, sir, just
Yes,
to
that says yes,
ensure
Anila. That says yes.
that we don't lose the dates.
Right, that says yes, but we are not going to agree on them until we see how the next 2 weeks go.
Fine, sir.
All right, so colleagues, I want to thank you for coming on, and the AG department. I think my next week to another consideration is that Judith, are you on the CPC? I know she's on leave, but she returns next week.
Yes, Chair, I'm on.
Yes, thanks for coming on, Judith. I know you're on leave. I should not be taking you off your leave, okay? But you return on Monday, I believe. Is that so?
Yes, Chairman, I do.
All right. So, well, you will be back in office when we start the clause by clause. And AG department, I hope everything will be okay for the 8:30 to 10 for the next 2 weeks, okay? So I want to thank everyone.
Chairman, the Learning Solicitor General may have a difficulty for the Tuesday morning when the PS board meets.
She has good seconds to act for her.
Yes.
All right, thanks everybody. So thanks for the short meeting, and I will ask the secretary to just inform the other members, and we will work it out with those members who were not present this morning. Thanks again, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Very well. Good.